when art was discouraged but not prohibited. Support and resources were very limited. But I am different. I cannot base what I'm going to be on what everybody isn't. I am a descendant of the clan of the snake eagle. Soaring is my ability. I have a voice. I have a responsibility. The microphone is my weapon. Like a samurai with swords, I open my mouth to speak and touch the world with my vocal cords. You see, fish swim and birds fly to fulfill their purpose. You too must discover what comes naturally to you if you are to elevate to the sky from the surface. All light ever wants to do is beam, so go ahead, dare to dream. Place yourself on a pedestal so high that you overestimate yourself, overrate yourself, challenge yourself so much that you are eventually great yourself. Run the full length, apply your talent, and turn it into your pull strength. Hello Eswatini, hello world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where in the world you are joining us from. My name is Tamsanga Sibanze, a.k.a. the KrTC of Hiphop, a.k.a. the facilitator, a.k.a. the brother that is about to take you through the show right now. It is a pleasure once again to be in your ear and on whatever device that you're using to catch this here live stream as we bring you the season finale of the First Friday Poetry and Soul Sessions. These, of course, have been made possible by the U.S. Embassy in the Kingdom of Eswatini in collaboration with our host venue in Dibanweni. Shout out to Daniel Toro of DT Photography for making sure that we come at you live and direct. Special mention, of course, to everybody that is in the U.S. Embassy office who works behind the scene to make sure that this little bit of a bittersweet moment, because like I said, it's the season finale of season 2 of First Friday. But of course, just because we're shutting it down now doesn't mean we're not coming back. So we're just going to take a break, and then after the break, we're going to come back with more fire, more poetry for you right here on your favorite channel, which is DTtv. Once again, thank you so much to the U.S. Embassy in the Kingdom of Eswatini, who saw a gap and saw it very necessary that we have a space like in Dibanweni. This is found at the Mbabane Public Library. It's called the American Corner on the second floor. Of course, when we come back out from lockdown, you can just find your way here and hang out. It's a very safe space. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of knowledge and information that you can find right here on this space. So ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get this show started right. Every time we gathered here at Ndibanweni for the poetry sessions, we would always kick it off with an open mic session. And of course, now that we are online, it doesn't mean we have to change that. So we'll keep that fire burning. Daniel Toro, right about now, please take us to our open mic session. And then we'll be right back with our guest for this evening. Let's get it.
Mpumalanga, Sihle, Zwane. The drinks get cold in the nighttime. Such a paradox because I only bought them to warm my soul. Strips of white on the table. Call it my lifeline. But now my breathing is getting poor, and I don't know if I can walk myself back out that door. Let him grab on my waist. In this darkness, he looks so divine. The darkness in his eyes, so void. I wonder what dwells inside the dark shadows of his mind. But all I am looking for is a light to take me home. But these lucid dreams feel so much like home. And I've been trying to find my way back there. Maybe I will find my way when my mind is clear. They told me I need to focus like Canon cameras. But I took a shot of this drink instead, let it shoot straight to my head, and it's getting hard to think. Hard to be here and still be me. Taking stills to convince the world that this life is a thrill. The icy cold in my cup seeps into my fingers. But I guess I was born for that. I have always been cold to the touch. My ice cold fingers run through his hair, but he was unaware that he had been touched by the Snow Queen's illegitimate daughter, for he was cold himself, just looking for warmth. And how we are such a laugh. How we laugh, how we amuse ourselves. It's a joke. On this path, home is always a lucid dream, a faraway place on the edge of these drunken minds. I seem to find it every time, but never can my feet take me there, as the emotions I try to hold off come on too strong, and suddenly this drink and line, which made me feel so fine, drag me, screaming, why did I do this again? It's a paradox. I love the feeling of never reaching home, because in this world of broken hearts and drunken nights, I am never alone. And in this world of drunken nights and broken hearts, I always have something to blame. The drinks got cold in the nighttime, and I wondered, why am I doing this again? Take a shot, take a still. This world is a paradox. It's a thrill.
To let you know that I'm breaking up with you. And I want you to know that this decision was not an easy one to make, but I feel it's what's best for the both of us, for me. And no, it's not me, it's you. They say the truth shall set you free, so I'm freeing myself from all your lies. And since you're always talking about how just you are, I think it's only just that you just answer me this. Where were you? All those years when my sister was crying mercy at the hands of her husband, when she couldn't spell love without fear, passion without pain. They say God is good, he's faithful. Where was this faithful God when my sister, who was faithful to her vows, faithfully got on her wounded knees day in, day out? Our Father who art in heaven, you are in heaven with your angels, watching us over some popcorn, because for you, some of us are just a good movie with a pinch of salt. You betrayed me. You betrayed our trust. I now realize the foolishness in trusting something you can't see, because you never really know when it's going to sneak up on you and take away the people you love the most. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. What kind of king claims to love his kingdom, kisses his kids with his invaluable breath and turns his back on them, allowing evil to still kill and destroy? Makes sense to me why Judas betrayed you with a kiss. That's how backstabbing works in the kingdom. Don't try to talk me out of this. I've already made up my mind. It's not your will that will be done. It's mine. Give us this day our daily bread. Ask the kid on the street corner what that prayer means to him. He'll probably He'll probably tell you a little bit about breadcrumbs and a whole lot of hopelessness, because for him, daily bread doesn't come every day. You talk about the blood of Jesus and the body of Christ, how it was freely given so we could freely receive life in its most abundant form, yet innocent kids are still dying of malnutrition. That's because their breakfast time is at dinner time, and that's the only time their throats see anything else besides poverty. You still have the audacity to tell me, ask and it shall be given. You're a liar. He once told me that forgiveness of trespasses strengthens relationships, but I feel like you're still punishing me for Eve's transgressions. For how long were the seeds planted in my womb bear no fruit? How do you think it makes me feel to be called a woman, just not woman enough to be called mother? And don't tell me to come to you as I am. You're still the father of all, and I, the mother of none. Lead us not into temptation. I struggle to pray with my eyes closed. All I see when my eyes are closed is their eyes, because I've often wondered if fairy godmothers exist, and if they do, then how miserable do you have to be for them to hear your cry? How loud did I have to scream to silence my sister's pain? How many tears did I have to cry to quench my brother's thirst? Lord, how do you choose your soldiers? I won't ask you to deliver us from evil, because you created it, so you can have it all, the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. I want out, be still. Be still and know that I am God. I can't say I'm surprised. In fact, I saw this coming. I've seen the way you don't even look at me the same anymore, the way you cancel our dates. Somewhere in between your busy life and worship of self, I've become a once a week thing, twice on Sundays thing, thrice in front of people thing, 4 times when you really need something thing. I've seen it in your eyes. I've seen your mind drift off when you're supposedly spending time with me. In fact, till today, I don't remember when last we spoke for longer than 1 minute and 20 seconds. What a bittersweet tragedy that the one time you're giving me quality time is to tell me we're out of time. And no, it's not me, it's you. You get on your knees and ask for my will to be done, yet you won't let me take the will. There's no room. There's no room for both you and me at the altar of your heart. There's no room for me to bless that womb when you're heavily pregnant with impatience. There's no room for me. There's no room for me to give you this day your daily bread when you won't acknowledge that I'm your sole provider. From those breadcrumbs to the very breath that your lungs thrive on, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all that you need will be added unto you. That is, seek first my face before the works of my hands. That is, thirst. That is thirst first for me before the satisfaction I bring. That is friends before benefits. That is seek me. And if anyone wishes to come after me, he needs to deny himself, take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. I need you to trust me. I need you to have some kind of faith in me, even if it's just the size of a mustard seed. That's all it took to part the Red Sea. I need you to have the faith of the blind men who fixed their blind eyes on an invisible God, saw me before their eyes could see. Seeing is believing is a lie. Believing is seeing. And when you feel your cross is too heavy for you to bear, remember Job. Stripped off everything that was true to him. His family, his wealth, his health came from a man with everything to a man with nothing, yet he held on to me with blisters in his hands. Remember Abraham, Hannah, Sarah. Do not lose heart, for you are hard pressed on every side but not crushed, perplexed but not in despair, persecuted but not abandoned, struck down but not crushed. Remember the cross. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man would lay down his life for his friends. Brethren, the enemy is already defeated. Tell your brother the parable of the prodigal son. Tell him, my heart breaks each day the sun goes down without him coming back home. Tell him my heart bleeds wasted time. Tell him I'm relentless in my pursuit of his heart. Tell him I will not give up on him. Tell him the only way to get back on his feet is to get on his knees. Tell him I'm waiting. Tell him my grace surpasses bad decisions in a broken relationship. Tell him I love him. You asked how I choose my soldiers. I knitted you together in your mother's womb, molded you into a star. Stars are specifically designed to shine in the darkness. I don't make mistakes. Shine. Whatever was supposed to kill you didn't, and what doesn't kill you knows who you belong to. So tell your story. Use your story to uplift others. Do not be afraid. My grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness. Therefore, boast in your weakness. Rejoice in your hardship, persecutions, and difficulties. For when you're weak, then you are strong. Today, whatever you decide to do, if you still decide to walk away, may you, in your wandering, never wonder about my deep love for you. May you be aware that it's complete and unconditional. May you be aware that none of what you did yesterday, none of what you said today, none of who you'll become tomorrow will change that. May you be aware that my son's death on the cross, the only life-giving death, was just so you could experience all of my love for you. May you be aware that the entire kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever mean nothing to me if I'm not gaining your heart. Thank you.
And welcome back to the viewers on the other side of this here screen, or rather this here stream. Thank you very much for taking some time out to be with us. We understand you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Shout out to everybody who's tuned into the U.S. Embassy Facebook page, or the Daniel Toro page, or the Courtesy of Hip Hop page. Thank you very much. We appreciate. Host watch parties. Let people know that it's going down right here. Hello, hello.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, 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 good. How does it feel to be on this side of the stream? I know you're one of the people that is so diligent and faithful in following DTtv programs, everything from Connect to Represent to now First Friday. Yeah. You're usually on the other side, but now you're on this side of the screen.
It feels cool. It feels weird though. It feels weird because I can see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it's really awesome to be here. Yeah.
Totally awesome. Thank you so much for taking some time out to be here with us. Now, I mean, obviously, just to give a little bit of a backstory, you were in South Africa. Not even 24 hours ago. Probably what?
Less than.
Yeah, less than. 12 hours ago, you were in South Africa. And it was announced that on the 1st of October, the borders will now be open for, you know, because before it was just like essential services, but then now they said it's open for just public.
Yeah.
The borders open on the 1st of October. October 1, they opened. October 1.5, you were in Swaziland.
I'm there.
You were in Swaziland. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your trip, your experience. I mean, I know you just couldn't wait to see family. Your dad is here, and you hadn't seen them since lockdown.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Ago, yeah.
It's a long time ago. So tell us a little bit about the experience of specifically going through the border under the conditions right now?
So I really want to commend all of the staff that are working at the border. They really are trying to follow the rules.
Right.
There's quite a lot of things put in place to make sure that people are safe, social distancing, sanitizing. You have to check for, they check for your COVID testing as well. It has to be under 72 hours. So that's also quite intense, but I think, it really helps the whole country if, we stay safe.
Of course.
And that's both on the South African and the Swazi side.
All right.
Yeah, so it was intense. It was quite intense, but I got there early and I managed to get through quite quickly.
Okay, okay. So, I mean, now that you've been there, you've gone through the experience, what what tips would you give to somebody who's either coming from Eswatini trying to go to South Africa or coming from South Africa trying to get into Eswatini?
Well, I think that first and foremost, I really thought the border would be so full. I'm like, who doesn't want to go home? So I was surprised at that. It wasn't as busy as I thought, but probably because of the COVID testing.
Sure.
So I would suggest also that if you do your COVID testing, you must do it at a place that will give you a letterhead. That's what I was told today.
Right.
You need to have a letterhead. You need to have on this piece of paper, it must be a printed out hard copy.
And
you need to
not on your phone.
Not on your phone.
Yeah,
don't try it.
They don't play that. Yeah, they don't
try it. So you have to have a hard copy of your COVID negative certificate, and it has to have a letterhead on it. It has to have the time that you were tested, and obviously the date of your results, which is the date that it was published.
Yeah.
And that's important to be within 72 hours.
Right.
So that needs to be given with your passport and everything else, and your road tax and everything. Yeah.
Yo, great stuff. Thank you so much. At least now we know for sure, that the borders. Okay.
But I was doing some writing.
All right.
So there was a lot of outlets for writing. But in terms of that scene, I didn't really get into it. I think they were English ones, but they were quite, they were a bit far from where I was. But I was doing some writing, So that was what I did. There are lots of opportunities for writing there. So that was really fun.
No, great stuff. Now, let's bring it back to the Kingdom of Eswatini. So while you were here, before you actually moved to South Africa and then beyond, for those of you who don't know, if you remember a period in time in the art space in the Kingdom of Eswatini, there was a poetry movement called Poetic Seed. AFUA was actually the founder of Poetic Seed. It was a monthly poetry gathering.
Annual. It was an annual.
It was
once
annual.
a year, yeah.
Oh snap! See, like I felt it was that big that I felt it was like frequent.
Eswatini as a forum because they were always poets. But they didn't necessarily have a forum as poets. Maybe they were seen as artists or something like that, but there wasn't something that was bringing together as poets, So I mean, really, really, great poets started there, and then they started, Rooted Soul started after that. But it was super awesome to have everyone in one room and just to the first time was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and then we continued every year after that.
Oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out here chilling with AFUA. And in a couple of minutes, she's going to jump on the mic and give us some poetry. We see you, Fadzai Dube says, is that a rose? Yeah, I think she's just sending some love. And then Ambassador Peterson is also in the building. That's a poet at work. I think she's just talking about the whole traveling, the whole October 1.5 thing. You're up in here for our first Friday of the season. Tanya Belcher, thanks for the... I think she's just going to keep us guessing.
Okay.
Thanks for the what. Luisani Gorje, we hear you, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in, Pangela Kulu. But we're working. We're trying to make sure that we keep this live stream. Either way, what happens is, even though right now maybe the live stream might be cutting, after the live stream, this recording will still be available on YouTube, and you can actually stream it there without any glitches, because the only problem right now is the upload speed. But I think we'll be all right. So thank you very much for your patience. Now, Fifi, so here you are, and you're just constantly on the move and doing so many great and amazing things. How have you kept the artistic or poetic side of you alive during the lockdown, and also especially because you've got tons of schoolwork parallel to that? How has that been going for you?
Yeah, I think it's been difficult, because also just looking for inspiration.
Yeah.
I think, you know, there was a time, I must tell you about the Poetic Seed thing in the beginning. We started actually a Facebook page, and I went back to it when I was asked to come here.
Yeah.
And like people were just pouring out their hearts on this page, you know? And I was just like, yo, it's just a different time, you know? Like people at that time, there was so much inspiration and so much was going on. And I think a lot of people just felt so challenged from the situation that you place your words. So I think that's something that is, you know, it's inbuilt, and it is with whatever I do, whether I text. My friends know I'm poetic when I text, you know, like it's just a part of me. Yeah, but I haven't been as productive as I usually have because of this time of COVID and just not having as much inspiration as usual.
Okay. No, but I mean, just to put it out there, there are a couple of poems that, you know, sometimes I write as well, and then I throw them at her. I'm like, yo, what do you think? And then she's like, okay, change this, you know, cross that out, add this. So there's actually a piece, and I think, you know, maybe I'll perform it at the end, that we co-wrote. And it was probably like a month, 2 months ago, not so long ago.
Yeah. And we co-wrote it in like, I don't know, a day or something.
Yeah, a day. I just like wrote a part of it, sent it to her. She added some stuff, and then we just sort of like threw it back and forth. Now, Sitembele Koza is in the building, you know, just showing some love. And Sharon Martin says, your words are power, girl, you know. So I think let's go straight to the poetry, Fifi. If there's any questions that you'd like to throw at AFUA, just throw them in the comment section below, and let's just like send this, keep this fire going. But also, most importantly, please let us know where in the world you are watching from. Do you want to introduce the first poem?
The first poem is the Broken Words poem. And it really was a poem that I was just really excited about language, you know? So I think the big thing was bringing together language and finding words that meant words inside of words, and then I think it expressed the way that I was feeling at the time, but the big thing was like breaking these words and putting them back together like a puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Daniel Toro, please, let's have that first video. Fifi will be performing live at some point in time, but she also does these videos, and that's what we're going to be seeing right now. So here's the first poem. It's called Broken
Words.
Let's get it.
So she tried to speak to herself, too shallow to understand the depth of her own hand. Booked into a bed and breakfast wasn't fed until this miss, taken from head to a place where incomplete. His demeanor completed her until she underlined this undefined page, until she overstood the good and bad looks where disbeliefs were mended by a soothsayer. This heart broke until it was bled, led by whiz, dominated her mind until she was blind, dared to see that her memories had legitimated with hatred until self-seeking shook no more. Her past shook through open doors till walls upon floors became ceilings to poles, and the only way of forgetting out of life were sentences of strife. So single words became her solace. No, yes. She tried foreseeing into the future, but it became hope, lessons of hurt when she grappled with the dirt to come, and happiness stopped smiling because in her dreams it was blue and black, but in reality black blew off all the colors of her rainbow and arrow's hands. So if seeing into the future created meaning inconsistencies with the growth of her living abilities, she realized that discontinuing to remembers of the past and terminations of what the future would hold would allow her to discharge self into the here and now, because dreaming had not yet arrived, and the past morning broke and died. So the only thing she had in this time was her to live, breathe, eat, cry, and try again. They locked eyes. She broke, looked down and picked her teeth, stirring her bowl of milky gari, the stench of fermentation, asking herself, why do you let her control you? As a flood full of dusty shells fell onto me, pages of papyrus spewing out, ripped leaflets of blank-sided pamphlets pulled out, so I could desperately write what all along I wanted to say. Scribbled between words on the folded corner of a discarded piece of paper, I frantically wrote my final line within the white gap just between the double-edged border and the Meranti of my table, with a blue ballpoint pen, in a teenage-raged fury. I hate her. How could she do this to me? How could she keep me in her incubator for so long and never love me? I am constantly angry, constantly dangling on the words she said to me. She destroyed me, and maybe love would never become something either of us would feel. Broken piles of bitter blades, ripped ribbons under demolished debris of my people, your colonies, raped and crucified them, and then I screamed, "You did this to me. You broke my ahunipa beads, halos of hipped gold, scratched the diamonds held under my dusty skin, and drank the oil that glistened my feet. The tongues you tore, the boundaries you bore, is it all in vain?" I move back into the present space while stirring my bowl of garri and drinking English breakfast tea, reminiscing on the words you just said to me when I told you that it was you who did this to me. You said, "You may think you are the result of the incubated series of pain I inflicted on you, but my work is done now. Your growth, your future is now defined on whether or not you realize that these broken songs do not have to define you." You said, "Your growth, your future is now defined on whether or not you realize that your broken songs do not have to define you."
Hi everyone, I guess we've had some really heavy words. This next poem is entitled Easy, trying to lighten up the mood. It is a Friday night after all, so trying to get you guys in the mood with the poem Easy. Let this poem be all that ecstasy, the depth of soul awakening, your every dream availing. Let it be like ebullient ovals and gyrating jingles, Christmas mistletoe and precious stones all amalgamated to coat every corner of your being and leave you with that warm and fuzzy feeling. Music, movement, sunny skies, tears of joy and butterflies, hummingbirds and dew-embellished rainbows. Let it be like sucking on a mango seed and watching your hands bleed. Very, very sticky orange nectar. Sitting under pergolas and sipping on pina coladas, beach dance of bashara, tiptoe and touch the stars. Laugh until your belly sore, lick your fingers, ask for more. The silly things are just what we ask for. Let me write you a melody that makes all your pain and worry fall off like autumn leaves, leaves you feeling easy. Just let yourself lose control of the things you never were in control of in the first place. And then you'll see that life is this poem in all its ecstasy, the depth of soul awakening, your every dream attaining. Let it be, shift focus, own it. Leave past, space and time in the past as I step into my gratitude in this moment. And rest follows, and this poem begins, and the rain, she falls with all of her abundance. Thank you.
All right. Snap your fingers, do that damn thing. Yeah. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, we're out here chilling with the super dope, super talented AFUA and is it Toluana?
Toluana.
Into the country, but you pulled it off. So thank you so much for putting all that together. What has been keeping you sane throughout the lockdown and you know, just this kind of like dark time that we just went through or are still going through?
I think people in connection.
Right.
I'm supported by a lot of really loving people.
Okay.
I have a gratitude group in the morning. I have a prayer group. I have, you know, a lot of very close people that give me so much love.
Okay.
And I think, you know, that's really what is helping me, or what has helped me get through it.
All right.
I think, you know, it's so easy to isolate yourselves, but we have video calls, we have calls, we have texts. So I think that has really helped me kind of get through.
Yeah, great stuff. Andiso Masego, we see you in Damani. Thank you so much. Snap. That's what's up. Thank you very much for coming through. Fifi, just before we wrap up the show, which is, of course, once again, the end of season 2 of this here First Friday Poetry and Soul Sessions that we host every first Friday of the month. This Has been a beautiful journey and a beautiful season. Shout out to everybody, all the poets that came in here, all the poets that sent out their videos for the open mic session. And we just want to encourage that even as we come back for season 3. But of course, it's all thanks to the U.S. Embassy in the Kingdom of Eswatini that has made this possible. And of course, our host venue in Dibanweni. You guys have been nothing but amazing. Ambassador Lisa Peterson, thank you so much for the support and the love that you show us every show. Stephanie, Nanette, Nondumiso, Morrison, Vagele, you guys have been nothing but amazing. Thank you so much. Shout out to the master, Daniel Toro, who's in the building today looking sharp. You know what I'm saying? I wish you guys could see what's going on behind the scenes, but it's nothing but a beautiful experience that we're having to keep the poetry sessions alive. And Tebogo says, I love that piece, Affair. Thank you for sharing your talents with us. And Jabu says, Black is King. Yay, yay. Fifi, just pick a camera. Let's, Daniel Toro, which one is she going to go to? Straight ahead. What do you want to say? What's in your head? What's in your heart? What's in your hand right now that you'd like to share with our viewers, you know, straight from the heart of Affair to the world?
Okay, I think I just feel very grateful at this moment. I feel grateful to be reunited with my family. I feel so grateful to be reunited with my loved ones, my friends who are my sisters, who are my brothers. I feel grateful for life itself, you know, being able to be healthy, having a clean bill of health. I'm feeling grateful for this forum, an opportunity to bring my thoughts out, bring my feelings out, bring my words out. I'm feeling grateful for everyone who is a part of this, everyone behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. I'm feeling grateful for, you know, what is October, which is my birthday month. An opportunity to, you know, be rebirthed. And
Daniel, is it your birthday month?
Yeah, is it also your birthday month?
Snap.
Yay!
We're just going to have like one big party online. One big party online.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. I'm just feeling grateful in this moment. It feels warm. It feels like I earned it. You know, I feel like I've been through it. I think we've all been through it, and now we've earned it. We deserve to experience life to the fullest now. We know what it feels like to not be able to do that. And I think that, you know, when the takeaway from that is really just being grateful, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of this moment requires exactly what this moment requires. This moment requires the momentum of 8 billion souls moving in the same direction. The many different languages speaking in one expression. This moment requires stillness. Jogging on the spot, waking up in the morning and being thankful for every single blessing that we have got. This moment requires us to step up our game, move from building ourselves to building a collective chain. Building something bigger than just some. Building a new name of a nation that has overcome. This moment requires our common sense to be heightened. This moment requires us to stop, drop, and roll, because here we are burning from the fires that we ignited when we chose to be lit over being enlightened. This moment requires us not to touch each other more, but to be more in touch with each other. We have been reckless with our tongue, speaking lack, speaking envy, tearing down, spreading lies, talking back. No wonder this moment requires us to cover our mouths, speak no evil. This mask requires us to cover our faces, not to hide in shame, but to remind us that we are all the same. May we use this moment to remember who we really are. Reset, begin. Conversations detoured from out to in. Speak no evil, to save myself from the shadows within, to press into the light that I have been given. A life of favor, abundance, and manifestation of all the awesomeness that has been built in. This mask requires us to look into the eyes of souls, to understand that love exceeds the boundaries of the physical. The helm of prayer in this mortal will pull us out of this misfortune, understanding that faith right now is our only option. This moment requires quietness, connection, reflection. This moment requires you to lead, to choose courage over comfort, love over fear, to choose we over me, heart over ear. This moment requires love. It requires hope. This moment is just a season. This moment requires no reason. This moment requires thought. It requires commitment. It requires peace in the parts of yourself that you refuse to listen to. This moment requires hands that will risk their lives. Salute to the women and men in the front lines. This moment requires all of us to suffocate our comfort just so we can breathe easy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a beautiful time right here. And by the way, I did say that is actually one of the poems that I co-wrote with AFUA, you know what I mean? So it was just like a beautiful process of writing an idea, throwing it at her. She expands on it, throws it back at me. I expand even more. I throw it back at her, and we just like kept throwing it back and forth.
Some tennis up in here.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and this is just sort of like the advantages or the possibilities that have been brought about by technology and you know and connection. So thank you so much, Fifi, for hanging out with us. I know you want to go and spend more time with the fam. They haven't seen you in forever and a day. Thank you to you guys on the other side of the screen for choosing to be with us this evening. Sharon Martin says, "KrTC, I want to leave in your brain." I don't know. I don't know you want to go there, girl. Consistently amazing. Thank you so much, Miss Martins. And Tembega says, "Love it. You're so good with words, man. I'm glad I was able to catch this moment." Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. You know, out here dropping bars. Pumelele says, "It requires we over me." Absolutely. This moment requires a book of poems that will be a bestseller for sure.
Yes,
hey,
hey.
Out here giving us ideas. I see you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again. This is the season 2 finale of First Friday. We'll be shutting it down for a couple of weeks, and then we'll be right back with more of your favorite poets and poems right here. Special thanks once again to Daniel Toro of DT Photography, who's been keeping this live stream coming at you live and direct. Thank you to Vagele, also in the background, making sure that we stay connected. Ambassador Peterson, Steph, Nanette, Nondumiso, Morrison, you guys have been amazing. In Dibanweni, the home of art and poetry in the Cap City, Bab City. Thank you. Pumelele says you guys were lovely. You guys were lovely for tuning in. It's peace, love, and happiness. Stay safe. We will see you on season 3 of the First Friday Poetry and Soul Sessions. Peace!